And we're live.
Good evening and welcome to our regular meeting of November 19th. As we gather today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this committee and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. And please join me in a moment of silent reflection. And thank you. Does anyone have any pecuniary or financial interest to declare? Having seen none, just a couple points on the mayor's address. November 13th, I attended the Renfrew County Housing Corporation and Community Service meeting. A couple of key highlights of that meeting were the Emergency Minor Home Repair Program, which was a huge success. There was 25 applicants approved and for the amount of $150,000. And the Ontario Renovates program, again, was a huge success. There was 15 approved for a total of $236,630, which was really good. On November 14th, I attended a Finance and Administration meeting, and there were, basically it was a lot of benefits for employees, etc. There was a session on Cowan Insurance. They are a source that they bring in the best benefits and pricing. And there was a section on personal time off. And of course, there was many other benefits to be talked about. Just to give everyone an update, everyone received a real tax update. Just want to publicly announce that real tax update. There were 84 properties with tax arrears of 2 years or more. Some of these were sold and some have been paid. The remaining 55 were sent to real tax for them to look after. So that's where that stands. Our next meeting in December, I'd like council to be prepared, and also our CAO. We need to have a discussion in regards to council composition and the ward system. We have to start this off and move forward with it. Okay? And when I was at those meetings last week at the county, I had the privilege to listen to our next speaker, our delegation, Allison Miller, who's from the Labour Market Group of Renfrew and Lanark, and she's our delegation tonight.
Should I sit here?
By all means.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I don't know if I should just go off my slides here. Everyone's got copies of the slides?
Everybody does on us. I also have them here. As well.
Perfect.
I just can't make it big.
Okay, that's no problem. It's really not necessary. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Allison Miller. I'm a project officer with the Labour Market Group of Renfrew and Lanark County. I want to say thank you for Tammy organizing this, and obviously thank you to the mayor for hosting us this evening. What I'm here to do today is just tell you a little bit about our organization and then give a very brief labor market update for the Renfrew County. As always, I have tons and tons and tons and tons of information, but only a few short minutes. So I really encourage you to, if you have specific questions, ask me after, or you can email me at any time, especially if you have questions about a certain industry or sector. And I don't even have enough time really to go through even the slides that I brought. I've sent Tammy a much longer presentation that has more extensive information on cost of living, immigration, and some of those other hot topics for those that are interested. So the Labour Market Group, if you're not familiar, it is fully funded by the Ontario Ministry of Training, Labour and Skills Development. What that means is that everything that we provide to the community is free, so especially for employers. But our job is really to be in the know of the labor market. Nobody was really interested until the last 2 years when we started seeing labor market changes. So that's really good for my work, not necessarily for employers. But in a nutshell, what we do is we collect labor market data and then we disseminate it back into the community. Really what our job is to bring partners together to drive innovative workforce solutions. You can go to the next, oh, perfect. So these are our deliverables that we provide every year. This is like the bare minimum of what we provide. I'll draw attention to the local labor market planning report. The next one that will be coming out is in March. It's an extensive document that has all the demographic data that I'm going to talk to you about today, but we also collect stories from the community. So what the employers are actually saying, what the manufacturers are actually saying, we put that in there, as well as company profiles, data from the employment services, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very good document. I will talk a little bit about some of the other stuff that we do in a moment. But the fall, right now, we're going through what we call our community consultations. We've already done Renfrew, the town of Renfrew, and then tomorrow we're actually in Pembroke. I know it's short notice, but if you have any friends that are in Pembroke tomorrow morning that would like to attend, they're more than welcome. And then otherwise, we always end the season in December with a virtual consultation. So anyone can join. And we basically do a roundtable discussion of the labor market. People give us this information, and then we give it back to the community. So there's really great resources there. Thank you. Thanks, you're on the ball tonight, yeah. And watching the time as well. So I'll give you an example of some of the things that we do. As many of you probably know, trades are in a terrible shortage right now, tradesmen, tradeswomen, and so we do a lot of promotion for youth. Every year we participate in the, sponsor the Pembroke Options Skilled Trade event, where we truck in or bus in hundreds of youth to participate in this really fun day where they get to actually practice the trades. They get really excited. And I'll also draw attention to, if you have never checked out our website, we have a number of job tools on there. One of them that's used the most is a job board. But what's special about this job board is not like Indeed, where Indeed just has whatever's loaded up onto Indeed. Our job board pulls from dozens of different local job boards. So anyone who's really job seeking or employers that want to post their jobs, they can do it there, as well as what we call job tools. There is Labor Market Insights report that you can go on and you can filter it for yourself. So it's a plug and play. You go on and you can put in the industry or whatever kind of information, and it'll pull it out for you. So we'll go to the demographic. Main point here, I'm not going to go through these each bullet points, but what I really want to impress upon you today is that we have this demographic shift, which is our population in Renfrew County is aging. Are there a number of factors that have contributed to the current labor shortage? Yes, like the COVID factors. There are cost of living issues, but that doesn't change the fact that we have this aging population. And the problem with that is we have all these people moving out of the workforce and not enough young people coming up to fill those spaces. That's the main issue. But then also we have these people that are retiring and taking their institutional knowledge with them, and that's a problem. I would say one of the great opportunities that Renfrew County does have is we've actually had population growth of 3.9% in the last several years. And the reason why that's so significant is typically in rural areas, you don't see any population growth at all. So that is a good thing. This might be because of the proximity to Ottawa or some people moving in during the pandemic. Yeah, that's enough for there. So since I've been in this position since 2022, it was a very tight labor market. And it's changed so rapidly that I'm almost surprised. So the good thing that I can say about the labor market right now is because of this cooling off of hiring and lowering or rising interest rates, it's actually created more opportunity for employers. So it is shifting to an employer's market where employers are having an easier time hiring than they were 2 years ago. But the downside of that is that we are having high unemployment rates, and so we have to work together as a community to help support those people. And the only other thing that I will really draw attention to on this slide is one of our big concerns with the labor market group is engaging youth in the labor market. There's a very high rate of unemployment for youth, and so when we talk about youth, it's really like 15 to 24. And that's a big concern because we need those youth to go into the labor market, but also we need them to start when they're young, getting a taste for what the labor market's like. And one concerning trend that we saw over the past summer is typically, we all remember growing up, the quintessential Canadian summer was getting a summer job. You know, you're working at the golf course, you're working at the fry shack, you're delivering newspapers or whatever you're doing. And a lot of students really struggle to find those jobs, so that's one issue. And then youth are, there's a lot of barriers to them entering the labor market. And again, I really don't have enough time to go into that, but I would love to answer more questions about it. And it's one thing that's a really priority for us is trying to figure out ways that we can engage youth into their kind of first steps into the labor market for future planning. Every year as part of our deliverables, we run the Employer Pulse survey. If you have not taken the survey yet, I would really encourage you to do so. One of the reasons why this survey is so important is because it provides data on employment and labor in Renfrew County that would not be available. So you'll see here, this is actually last year's. It says 73% of employers have said that they've had trouble hiring in the last year. I have actually the preliminary results of this year's survey that just started since September, and it's gone down significantly to only 59% have said they have difficulty hiring, which is great news for employers. And it's like I mentioned, this better labor market for employers. But you can see that there seems to be most small businesses and employers are going through this constant recruitment cycle. That's really hard on small businesses, and you can see that they're either having limited applications, not getting enough applications, enough quantity, or they're not getting the quality of applications. So that's kind of where Labor Market Group has come in a lot over the last year, is trying to figure out how we can offer more training and education and skills development right in Renfrew County, because we know that people who are educated here, who are trained here, live here and work here. And then, as I've already mentioned, with this aging demographic, 40% of employers have mentioned that they've had retirement last year, and you're like, okay, 40% doesn't seem that bad, but if you think 4 out of 10 businesses losing someone to retirement, that really is a large portion of the population. So the last thing I'll leave you with, that's the last thing I'll leave you with today is part of what our organization does is we have the labor market information help desk, and what that is, it's a completely complimentary service. If you need data, you can send us an email. It's very simple. You just tell us ask us what you need, and we can produce reports and send it back out to you. This can be something as simple as, let's say, I'll give an example. We would have someone come up, local community service. They say, oh, we're getting ready to hire a new social service worker, and we need to know the median wages. What would that be? That's something we can send back within 24 hours. Or notably, the Renfrew County asked us last year to produce a report on the forestry industry. As you know, that's been getting some interest over the last year. And that takes obviously a little bit longer, but even still, then we provide the report to the council, and then we're able to put it up and it's available to the public. But I'll encourage you to check it out because it doesn't always necessarily have to do with employment. We have access to all types of data sources for business, the Canadian Business Counts and whatnot. So just before I go, this slide is a little bit outdated, but I wanted to mention for those of you in the room that didn't know, we had gotten the municipal leaders together in October, and what the municipal organizations were saying about their needs for hiring and trades and skills really mirrors what the rest of the community is saying. So really we're asking for more municipal buy-in to work together with the community partners so that we can all get our needs met. For example, every single year we're coming into snow season, we need snow plow drivers. I really encourage you again to participate in our community consultations, fill out the Pulse survey, and if you don't need the LMI health test or something, then please tell your friends, tell your colleagues about it. And yeah, I think that's it. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Allison.
Thanks. Yeah, my pleasure.
Does anyone have any questions?
No. I just think it's very good on them checking out letters.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So I do put some back cards outside so you can contact us. Yeah, please contact me if you have specific questions about youth, seniors. The work is like quite extensive.
I just have a couple comments.
Yeah, please.
I do understand that our senior population is increasing,
Yes.
and we're at 30.1% in our municipality. Having said that, I think a lot of businesses in town, and including us, have an extreme difficulty in obtaining youth for jobs.
Yes.
And it's a big concern. We have in our roads department, our tourist booth, in our swimming programs, you know, we're always looking for youths to fill those positions, and plus our fire department is looking for younger people. Of course, that's always, you know, we're always trying to recruit, big thing. But I know there's not a quick and easy fix, but maybe you could share with our group what you think that can be done to help and alleviate the problem.
Okay, so the first thing I would say is, like, obviously we need a demographic profile of Killaloe. I don't know if you've done one of recent or from the last census, because maybe they're just, the numbers maybe are not there. Maybe there's just not enough quantity of youth in that age group to fill those positions, which is the first thing I would say. But what we do know about the youth is what keeps coming up again and again is that they don't have driver's license. I don't have any, I haven't been able to find any data on that, but anecdotally, that's what people are saying across the region, is that 15, 16, 17-year-olds are not getting their licenses the way that they did, and that's really limiting them in the kind of work that they can get, especially when we live in a rural area and they don't have public transportation either. So as a community, we have to try and figure out the transportation issue. But then youth seem to struggle with getting that kind of first step into the labor market where they kind of get a really tangible experience. That's why the co-ops are so important, so they can kind of get their feet wet before they go to a quote-unquote real job. And so we've been working with the Renfrew County District School Board to get more opportunities for them, but I would encourage employers in the area to find any like really low entry or low hanging fruit to engage with them. So in the old way where we would have like put out a call, ask them for their application, come on in for a one-on-one interview, that can be really nerve-wracking. So we encourage you to do like more public events. Maybe it's like an open house instead of a formal interview kind of situation. I would also encourage you to go to them if they're not coming to you. So going to the schools, going to the colleges, going to where those kids are, and not even to educate them because they can find that pretty dry, but to just kind of showcase what the business has to offer. And then the same thing that we go for that age group of looking for firefighters. You're going to have to cast a broader net outside of the municipality. We have to look at the demographics to see who's there. And then the other thing is really rethinking the whole recruitment process, where we used to, it may be hard within the municipality because I know you probably have policies of how and when you contact people, but anything that you can do to really tighten up the timeline. So if you have an interested candidate or an interesting candidate for you, you need to contact them immediately, because people in the age 15 to 35 are used to instant contact. So if you wait 2 weeks to get back to them, they've already moved on to something else. And then anyway, you can like limit the bureaucracy and make different options for applications. And this would be really good for youth, right, to seniors. So in youth, obviously, you're doing more of like a virtual application, whereas seniors, maybe you're making sure that you're always offering paper applications, so that there's different modalities for everyone that's involved. Does that answer your question?
Sure.
And I will just mention before I go, we have lots of information coming back from the employment services that the rate of seniors entering back into the job market is increasing. Some of them because of wanting something to do to participate in the community, and others because the rising cost of living. So that's something that we're really keeping an eye on, and we're encouraging employers to rethink hiring or creating flexibility to allow seniors to come back into the workforce.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Please contact me.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Motion for our minutes.
Moved by Bill Smith, second by Maureen McMillan. Motion to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of November 5th, 2024, open and closed sessions.
Questions or discussion? I just want to make one point while we're on the report on page 2, where it talks about Public Works Superintendent Hawley has requested approval for Councillors Brown.
For Councillors Brown and...
Yeah. He doesn't need to request, but we are already done that weeks before, that all the out-of-town meetings are going to take place. So I don't know if we just want to leave that or we alter it, or, but that decision was already made, so. Case. All those in favor? Carried. Under meetings. Well, we had 3 out of 3. All of our meetings, Roma, AMO, Good Roads, all fall on projected council meeting dates. I don't think I've ever seen that. All 3 hit the same time. Suggestion, as Tammy's typing these meeting dates up, that we bump each meeting a week after.
I want to be careful of the making sure that we don't have meetings that are 2 weeks back to back.
Unfortunately, of the months that they are back to back.
I know
And
that-
if you go the other way, it's even back to back too. So it's right at the middle.
There will be enough for each of those meetings to have one.
Well, so on yours, there's 3 plus the roads. On ours, there's 3.
Doesn't matter, we're just worried about councillors.
And then there's us, there's 3 plus the CAO. So it's,
So
we've
that
altered
sounds
the
like a
meetings.
quorum.
we've altered the meetings in previous years. So the suggestion is to alter these 3 meetings to the week after the scheduled meeting.
I don't have a calendar to book.
No new one yet?
Yeah, I can still be here.
I know that in the past, it created a really difficult situation for staff in terms of turning around the minutes for the meeting within a 1 week
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
So that's my,
When are you gone?
19 to 21,
Of what?
January.
I believe the past 2 years that we've done that meeting, we've missed it.
Well, if
Sorry?
we do have to move it, could we not just not move it to the Wednesday?
Oh,
Same.
yeah, we could do that. Sure.
Okay.
Do you want to do that? So those 3 meetings?
I'm with Bill, they're having meetings 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
so-
No, that's fine. That's a good suggestion. And we could move it to the Wednesday of those 3 meetings, or those 3 months. How's that? Is everyone okay with that?
So that's the Wednesday after Roma.
Okay. So you'll have to catch up on your sleep after Roma, and same with Good Roads. Okay, so it'll be the Wednesday, so Tammy can highlight that in when she does her next meeting update.
Do we have to put notifications in the paper for them, Tammy?
Not if we're that far ahead.
December we're talking?
January.
Yeah. What
So
seems
the 21st is going to the 22nd.
Any other question I have is in regards.
Good Roads would be March.
That was the decision for 1 meeting. Is that the decision for
For
all
all 3,
meetings?
all 3,
Okay.
because they all fall within that group, and this way we can handle it all in all 3
So what are
meetings.
the 3 ones? Roma, Ogra?
And Himmel. The other question I have in regards to our next finance meeting, I guess the question should be to Tammy, when would be convenient for you to be ready?
Depends on what council wants for the first finance meeting.
I think you said January, right? So our meeting in January would be the 8th and the 21st. If I'm looking at the calendar properly.
7th and
Sorry?
22nd.
Or 7th and 22nd, sorry, yeah. Okay. So how about in the week of the 13th? Whatever would be suitable. I know you're not good on Thursdays, right, Ted?
I'm good that week.
You want to go to Thursday?
I have a meeting that would be challenging to get out of on Thursday the 16th. I could do it, but it would be challenging.
I'm good any day that week. So
How about Wednesday,
any day.
Wednesday the 15th?
We'll have a library meeting.
That would be a library.
Could we do the 14th?
We could do the 14th. We're all available. Wednesday the 14th of January.
Did we hear from Tammy if that's reasonable?
Again, depending on what council wants for that meeting.
For having a budget meeting,
For
do
having
we
a
get provisional budget by then?
Yes, you would get a provisional budget. It wouldn't be updated because year end wouldn't be complete.
The
So it
actual,
would not be an actual final provisional budget. It would still be,
a working copy. But
Would it have information from regarding 2025, the
No.
proposed from,
no.
so what's the purpose of having that meeting?
Oh, I thought you were going to meet with your department heads in December.
I'm going to be meeting with them, yes,
Yeah.
and they're going to be putting some numbers in, but it's not going to be a final copy.
No.
We're not going to, Charlene and I will do our best to get information in, but all that information won't be in.
When do you think it might be?
When year end is over with the auditors and we're able to submit all that, put all that info in.
That's only the
Do
actual
you
part.
have, do you have an estimate of that? Like when? the event's
They're
at?
normally here mid-January.
Well, last year, our first finance meeting was January 31st, so I don't think we need to be before that. really worked out for you last year, right?
Mhm.
I'm not trying to block a finance committee meeting, I've done that before, as you know.
And successful.
Just if we're coming in without the information, what's the purpose of the meeting?
Yeah, I was under the impression that all of the, not to an exact science, the estimates of 2025 would be more or less in place. The actual, of course, wouldn't be in place because the year end doesn't finish, or it finishes, but it's not fully loaded into the system.
So we're probably looking the first week of February. Before we have that information.
Well, it depends how the auditors do, depends what we want in it. That's what we're saying.
I don't know about other people, personally, to me, the information that's most important is the 2025 budget, not the fine point on the 2024 budget.
Yeah, not the actual, like, I'm not worried about the 2024 budget, that's Tammy and her group to monitor, of course, during the course of the year. But the 2025 budget is what
Yeah,
we should be really focused on.
absolutely.
And the 2025 budget numbers that the estimates that staff produce, they look at the 2024 actuals to have a more accurate estimate going into 2025. So the later we can wait into January to be able to get as close as possible, and I know that can't be everything, but to get as close as possible moving into the 2025 budget. That would give staff a better number to work with when council's reviewing and having questions as to why that budget number is the way it is.
Okay.
So then.
I think we can buy that.
February, then?
We can buy that. How about the week of, later in the week of January 27th to January 30th?
Not the Monday, but I can do Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, good for this side?
Yep.
Okay. How about the Tuesday, the 28th? Is that okay?
Tammy?
Yep.
Okay.
7 o'clock.
Yeah. Hopefully some of us will be back to work by then. Sorry. Okay. Fire Chief Bob. Yes, sir.
All right, as you can see, tonight's going to be a short presentation. Good, right on with it. Operations since the last meeting of October 15th, we had a chimney fire on Mass Road. November 14th, we had a false alarm on Queen Street. All we had for that period of time. Ongoing activities, of course, are the weekly truck checks and the monthly equipment checks. Recent events, October 31st, the flashing green light signs were installed. November 1st, we changed the burning signs to daytime burning allowed. November 4th, Moose on the Loose restaurant and their fire inspection. November 12th, we were doing power and preparedness workshop with Hydro 1 in Pakenham. November 14th, I sat in on a Zone 6 Roma meeting overview. Upcoming events, November 26th, bi-monthly meeting. December 4th is the Renfrew County Fire Chiefs Association meeting. Recent training, ground and roof ladders on October 15th. October the 29th, we had an extrication scenario. November the 12th, hazmat, Canutech, that's the emergency response guide, and chemical suicide. Upcoming training, year's running out on us, but we have on December the 3rd, size up scenarios, overhaul and tarps. December the 10th, PPE, SCBA, and knots. On the CEMC side, we had on November 1st, a compliance program update from EMO, and the 18th EM programming for 2025. We're looking at a county-wide exercise. That's my report.
Does anyone have any questions for Bob?
Thanks for getting the signs up.
Just to let you know that Madawaska Valley also did theirs, and they went out and upgraded them to bigger ones.
Big ones?
I saw that today when I was going to Barry's Bay. Question I have, as far as recruiting, is it a once a year type scenario that we will go and recruit or put an ad in the paper for recruitment? Or do we not?
Or,
For firefighters?
no, we haven't done an actual advertising campaign like that, no.
It's a waste of money.
Waste of money? Wouldn't get anybody?
People that wanna join the
And
fire
right now is
department
not-
approach
It's not
us.
great timing for us because we're flipping everyone from a firefighter 1, get their training certification, get ready for certifying with firefighter 2, which has to be done by 26.
Okay.
So it's not a great time to be adding an awful lot of junior people, as much as we like to get them. There will be one person probably joining us after their college year this year, but we'll see what happens in the summer.
Okay, good. And Ted, you were saying it's a bad idea for,
Well, people, it's more word of mouth for joining the fire department. People move to the area or they know somebody, they approach fire departments most of the time. I don't think you got too many people that read it in the paper and come knocking on your door.
thank you, sir.
Okay.
Colton?
So to start it off, spoke with this council a few weeks ago. The fire protection grant, which is a grant funding stream that focuses on keeping firefighters safe and preventing them from getting cancer-causing fumes. So as you know, I applied for that portable decontamination shower. Received a call saying that because we applied for significantly less than what their kind of benchmark was, they allowed us to apply for more. So I went in and applied for 25 new gloves and 25 new flashes, which are just basically fireproof balaclavas for firefighters. Item 2, the Halloween Bash. Despite the poor weather, the event, I think we had a good turnout. Councilor Levine, I think we counted 25 kids that came to carry pumpkins. We were a little short-staffed, but we made it work. And I think some ideas for next year are to maybe bring the event to KBP around Lake to a haunted trail walk or something like that. I know Grounds Pantry has said that they'd love to be more involved with it, so I think we're going to use that to our advantage. And while I'm on that, just a big shout out to them for all their help at that event. Item 3, so the 2 for the Trails grant. This was the grant I spoke about that gives money for trail maintenance, renovations and revitalizations. We got that grant, so we were granted $14,000. So the funds will be managed by CRC as the grant was restricted to not-for-profits. So the planning expenses were originally the reading stations from Happy Trails, which is the company that installed the gravel in the trails originally. But we are exploring additional options for installations and the trail maintenance. So the nice thing about this grant is 10% of the money can be used for wage. So an idea would be getting a potential groomer for the KBP trails. I know. I personally loved cleaning the trails this year, but if we could get someone else there, then that might help. Local government week. So I went to both schools and kind of talked about government to every grade, minus kindergarten. But I thought it was awesome. It was really cool to kind of see what kids knew about government and what I could teach them. Both principals were awesome, faculty was amazing, and it'd be nice to expand it more to public or do bigger audience for speeches. I think that it's always good to talk about and not so much teaching on, but just kind of explaining what we do here. the Municipal Agricultural Economic Development and Planning Forum. So this happened at the Best Western in Pembroke. We basically went on a big bus ride all through Redford County, went to a bunch of different farms, different agriculture too. We went to small scale farms that, just do plants and crops, and we went to large scale farms which, have over 200 head of dairy cows that they milk every day. So it was really cool to see the prosperity in Redford County and be able to understand, the kind of the barrier between agriculture and municipalities. And I think that it really opened my eyes to, being able to meet new people, interface and network with other municipalities in my position, specifically on how they can, grow their, relationship with agriculture and just kind of create more of an open door policy. I think it was a great success in my eyes. Celebrate Canada grant. So this grant is due November 21st. I know I originally spoke about fireworks, if we're going to go through with that. So I was told that we have an answer by this meeting. So if I can just get a kind of an answer by council on what they want me to do with that. Last year we applied for $7,000 out of this grant and we were successful.
Are we able to apply for more?
Yes. Yep. I'd have to look at the max funding because I haven't been in the grant there for a week or so, but I do know that you can apply for more.
So just from memory, I'm going by, the fireworks celebration was, say, $20,000 roughly, including music, everything like that. Sorry?
14.5 for the fireworks last year.
So the fireworks is 14.5. So 50% of that is covered by this grant. So I'm not sure if we want to derail this function, like the fireworks, or take a closer look at what happens around the fireworks. So I think there's two situations here.
If I can just interject, so the grant itself wouldn't pay for the entertainers. The grant
I understand. So the question I think is, for the fireworks, 14,000, and the grant covers 7. So are we ready to pre-approve the 7,000 for the fireworks? I think that's the question that has to be answered tonight. And all of the other stuff we look at during the budget process. I don't want to cloud this because
Last year was part of the paid through the grant also, or
Yeah.
or did we pay the 14,000?
no, the
7,000 was grant money last year.
Bill, any comments?
Yeah. I've said it before, I think it's challenging to spend that much money on an event, but I understand that it's an important event for the township. I want Colton to investigate if we can ask for more of the $14,000, like more than $7,000, and apply for the maximum amount. I suspect if I voted against it, that I'd be the only person wearing the Big Green Grinch t-shirt and voting against having fireworks or a shorter show.
Okay, and Maureen, what color will you be?
I agree. It's a huge amount of money. It's a huge commitment, but I also think it brings our community together, and I love sitting there with everybody in our town watching the fireworks, so I say yay.
Brian?
Yeah, I think it's probably the biggest event Killaloe has, and I would fully support it. I think we go with the same as we had last year and let Colton try to get as much as he can through that grant and help us pay for it.
Carl?
Yes.
Ted?
I agree with Bill. I know it's a big event for our township, but it does almost zero economically. People just come and watch the fireworks, and it really doesn't bring anything back into our community.
Okay, now let's have a vote. Yes is to have the fireworks for 14,000, you said? And the grant covers 7 with the potential of you getting more.
Correct, yeah.
Okay?
But the grant isn't 100%.
No.
No, but the 7 is, right?
No.
No, it's just we could apply for 10 and get 0. like, we aren't guaranteed $7,000, just like any other grant you apply into. It's not like we apply for 7 and get
Have we ever been turned down?
No. Not that I know of.
I can't answer that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I do know that Chris did apply before he left for the 7,000, which was the first time he applied for that much, and we did get approved for it. But that doesn't mean it's going to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're voting to spend 7 on the fireworks with a risk of, could be 14. So, all in favor, yes? Carried. But with the caveat that during the budget time, we will look at the rest of the program, the show. Right?
Well, I think the goal this year, we want to bring back the ducks. So it will be more of a daytime, a whole day thing like it was in the past, not just like an evening thing.
So to clarify, council is agreeing to pay $14,500 for the fireworks, having Colton apply for the grant funding for as much as possible to help with the associated costs, and then council will discuss the rest of Canada Day in the budget meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm applying for 7 or I'm applying for
As much as you can get.
Okay.
You're never held back from applying. You apply for everything.
Is there, so if you applied for more, is there a chance that they would give you 0 then, or?
Well, I mean, there's a chance to give a 0 if I apply for $2.
Okay.
The
The amount wouldn't make any difference then?
I have no idea. I did speak with someone regarding the grant, and they were telling me that it's really just depending on what your application looks like. So I can't guarantee anything. I'm just going to do what I know has been successful in the past, and that's all I can do.
Okay.
I wanted to add too in that there are alternative options for fireworks. We don't have there are different ways we can explore the fireworks. Like I know that 1 year we did it on a barge. They don't just do set shows. They charge. I think it's like per minute is what the fireworks are. So it's all just kind of up to council. On that though, Canada Summer Jobs Grant, that's the grant we use for our public works, our visitor information, and our swimming instruction. So that opened yesterday. I'm just requesting council decision on applying for 2 public works, 1 waste site, 3 swim program, and 1 community development coordinator assistant. So that would be what Michaela did for the summer.
2 public works.
2 public works, 1 waste site, 3 swim, and 1 community development assistant.
And the visitor information
And
center.
yeah, and there's an information center.
For a total of 8?
8 people.
Totally.
Okay, so when do you have to have this in?
Okay.
This grant, I believe, is due late December, early January.
We need to have a talk about this, about all these students. I'm the first one to want students to work, believe me. But this is costing us a huge amount of money, and we need to have a breakdown of what it costs us, because they only pay for a certain number of weeks. Like say, if you 8 weeks, they might pay for it, but you want the kid or the student for 14 weeks or 15 weeks. You have to pay the difference, but right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
So we need a further discussion how much this actually impacts us. And I want as many students as we possibly can get, because I think it's great for our community, but within a certain limit.
We couldn't staff any of these positions if we didn't have students. Like we wouldn't have a swim program. I think these ones are all pretty essential. Like this is like bare minimum, right? You have someone to cut the grass. You have like
We either pay.
swim instructors, someone to operate, or we
paying
have no one.
overtime, we'll be paying overtime to our employees to
Yeah.
cut their hours.
Yeah.
It's also with holiday season, so a lot of the regulars take their holidays.
I think we just have to be made aware.
Yeah.
We just have to be made aware of what hiring one student costs us.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's it's going to mean a no vote. I'm just saying we need awareness. Yeah.
We just had a lady telling us we should hire more students to get
I know.
the workforce, and now we're saying not hire.
No, but you want to hire as many students as you want, but as long as you can afford it, number one. Bill?
I think it makes sense to go ahead and apply for the positions because you can always turn them down.
Okay.
Get the application in, do the work now during the process, and we can make that, we can have that discussion later. And I echo what the other councillors are saying, that it's, well, yes, there's a cost, a labor cost, it's saving us because the labor cost of getting that work done. Unless we made the decision not to cut any grass in the township, not to have vacation coverage at the dump site, those kinds of things. That's
So
what we're using it for.
we will be visiting this during the budget process to see what it actually costs. And again, it's not a matter of we're not gonna hire a person or not. It's, we need to know as a group, it costs us this much. Like say if we get money for 10 weeks and we need the student for 20 weeks, that type of thing. We just need to know what the actual dollar value is.
So to be clear, council wants me to go for,
Yeah.
go forward with the application.
You'll get used to us eventually.
So, next item is the Municipal Government Showcase event. This was run by County Clerks and Treasurers Association, so this was where I went to Algonquin College and kind of just chatted about KHR. Similar to local government, we just talked about local government saying, trying to entice new people to come work here or to pursue careers that are geared towards local government. I know from my experience that there was a lot of students who say like, you take this course and you end up here, and they didn't know. It's crazy. I'm not going to say lack of knowledge, but I'm going to say like a barrier between like how you know your business course can correlate to municipal jobs. So I think that getting more involved with that is going to help out a lot with kind of workforce in our area. The Killaloe rink. So Zircon, as you guys are probably aware, Zircon has already completed the demolition of the rink boards in Killaloe. I've chatted with Chris Clancy, which is Wellmar. They are installing the new boards, and they said that they're going to be here 24th, 25th of November, and they're expected to be done by end of November. So that gives me lots of time for reporting and doing all that by January 1st. The Immigrant Support Program. So this is a grant that I came across and it's pretty cool. So it's a funding portal that gives grants to Irish-themed events. Now, this kind of stream gives up to 30%, 100% coverage. The application will be submitted in partnership with CRC. The portal typically opens mid-January, and I've sent all council an email with the link so they can check the site out themselves.
You have sent us?
Yep, you have it in your email. I sent it at like 5:30. And then lastly, the Tree of Peace, the tree lighting ceremony. So that's scheduled for December 5th, 6 to 8. Santa's whole week's coming, so that's good. We're going to be serving homemade apple cider. We're going to be doing up little candy bags for Santa to give to the kids. He's going to help me with that. And then I'm going to chat with the library regarding live music. I'm not 100% sure if we've done that in the past, but I looked at old ads and it said live music, so.
The OK Corral, which is a local vocal chorus singing group, always come and do the entertainment, and they will be here this year.
Okay, so I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
bring on.
But they mainly go to the library, but if you want them out front, you have to ask them, right?
No, they do both.
Oh, they do both?
Yeah, they know the deal. They'll
And what's the date of that?
December 5th,
What time?
6 to 8 p.m.
6 o'clock.
And then, as you're all aware, the Canada Post strike, kind of a big deal, especially as it pertains to our newsletter. So my action plan is social media posts encouraging residents to access our e-newsletter on the township website. I'm going to be doing a Facebook post saying that as well. As far as my plan, I think what's going to happen is we're going to print the newsletters, and then once Hope in Canada Post goes off strike, we'll be able to distribute them. And the newsletter's almost done. So we're going to have lots of time to implement all that information.
Are we committed to print them?
No, we don't have to.
Personally, I really don't see us spending the money on printing them. Because, not that I'm involved in the negotiations, but I don't think this strike is gonna finish soon.
I think it is.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna force you to go back to work.
The Liberals? Anyway,
But
so,
that's the exact
but-
reason why. You know,
Print them. we put
because
them out.
it takes them 5 days. It takes 5 to 7 days for it to be printed and brought. So
how much does it cost us to run?
I think we are 1,200, and that's delivered here to the office. 12 something change. I'd have to look at it. I'd have to look at the numbers.
And plus postage? Plus postage.
Plus the bring to the campus. Yes.
So it's 1,200 plus maybe 500 or 600?
Yeah.
So you're looking almost $2,000. Whereas you, and plus you don't know when that strike is going to end, so some of the events that you want to publish in.
So what's the drop dead date? Like, when does it need to go out to be a current issue?
So the issue is December, January. So typically in years, like in months past, I would have them in Canada Post by the 31st of the month before.
November.
Yes,
No,
correct.
first
Yes.
December, but-
Yeah.
So as a worst case scenario, if the strike were to go on, could we distribute them at locations around like the Round Lake store and have some here, and have them
Absolutely.
all over
PO
the
boxes
place?
are still available.
Yeah, people,
Yeah, so-
and advertise that on your Facebook site,
Yeah.
so people can go and pick one up and have
Yeah.
one. People in the store, have them at Fresh Mart, have them everywhere. Maybe that would be just an extra job that you might have to do if that strike doesn't look like it's gonna disappear by the first week of December, get them out.
We do send newsletters out to like Golden Lake and Willow area, so there'll have to be some communication with how we can get those people involved as well, because I don't want to
Yeah.
just give newsletters around Lake and Killaloe.
No, but we have like, at our Will Know mailboxes, there's a box there for the people to put stuff in, yeah.
No, I think that with the right amount of help, I think it's very,
Yeah.
very manageable for sure.
Yeah,
How about if we reduce, how many copies do you print?
1,520, I think.
What happens if we reduce the number of copies?
Then I won't get one.
So the
Why? He would make sure you got one.
You're gonna hear from everybody that doesn't get one.
yeah.
there was an initial thought that I had where, you know, you can just print off a couple hundred and then if Canada Post goes out straight, you can just send them out, but that would mean some people get, 2 copies and some don't get any.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So basically, this issue covers the highlights of December.
And January.
January.
But what's in January? What do you have happening from your end in January?
In January, that could be something that isn't probably highlighted as much, but
But really, there's no events happening in January.
Well, the library still has events, the food bank's still open, like you have stuff.
well,
like
that's a big one too. Like, I don't mind doing the work if it doesn't work. If that's the thing, but like, there's
Can
a
we
lot
call
of-
for a vote to see if we want to put the out or not instead of talking in circles here, please, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Sure, let's have a vote. All those in favor of going ahead and printing it?
Never done.
And then the last one was a meeting I took part in today. It's sustainable tourism. It was an online workshop, so focused on ESGs, which are environmental, social, and governance kind of barriers that we face with tourism in our area, especially with the winter months kind of being short and sweet. We lose a lot of winter tourism on snowmobiles, so it was good to take part of that and understand challenges that are kind of coming / are already here, and how to kind of deal with them and taking proactive steps. And that's the gist of it. I know it was a bit of a longer one, but that's her.
Questions? Okay, I have a couple. The picnic tables in Pathway Park. Do we just leave them there, or do we put them up against the barn, or
What does council want me to do?
what happened in the past?
I don't No idea.
Yeah.
We can probably store them in KPP, in the barn.
In the barn, yeah.
The Community Sport and Recreation Fund.
Yep.
For rink boards. Any status with that
But we never applied to it.
for the first edition? What-
Yeah, the second one is like starting over. So the first one is rehabilitation. The second one's starting from like nothing. It's like building your own. So we wouldn't be able to get the grant for Round Lake because it already exists. If the Round Lake rink didn't exist and we wanted to put a new one in, then we could apply to that stream, but we can't if we want to go underground. Unless we want to build 2 rinks.
I thought I was under the impression that there was another edition that we could submit a bid by March.
Under the CSRIF, there's not. And I probably had 20 phone calls. So there's the OTF like capital grant is coming out in March, and that is something we could apply for Round Lake under. But
So are we equipped for the Round Lake rink to redo like pavement, boards, etc.? Or do we have a concrete estimate
we are,
as opposed to
I'm
like?
sure
Have we
just
not
waiting.
discussed that already, Harold, that if we pave there, we have to do all the boards and everything?
Yeah, well, you can't just pay. Yeah, you need,
So the whole thing would have to come down.
there's no
Right.
sauna tubes there. You need sauna tubes. You need a
Okay.
full
But
demolition.
what I'm getting to is, and I think Tammy has used this, are we shovel ready in case a grant comes? Or do we have the exact numbers for all of those items to be done?
Minus Brooks quote for demolition, yes.
But we have no idea on the rest.
Yeah, I have Greenwood. I have
He has
Wellmark.
everything except for the demolition.
Oh,
quote.
everything?
Everything except for the
Okay.
demolition quote.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Because if it does come through,
Mhm.
we have to be hot after that one. Because I think, Harold, how long would those boards last us?
We'll get another year.
Because I sure don't want to stop that rink.
For a quote for demolition, I don't know why we have to contract it out, but we got all the equipment ourselves.
Yeah, I think part of it was for the sauna tubes with the demolition,
Yeah.
for the supports.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it. Demolition, a lot of that. Taking down of it, we could probably do.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Yeah. So the only quote you would really need. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could get 2 or 3 people to help out. I mean, all you need is a chainsaw, so.
Mhm.
Like
Well, I mean, Brooks guys had the Killaloe rink boards off in 2 days. But they did have sauna tubes, so I don't know if it'd be harder without sauna tubes or not. I would actually assume it'd probably be easier because they wouldn't be.
Oh, we could easily take down. I mean,
Yeah.
Easy to take down.
I just don't want to be in a situation that we may have to close that rink. That's all. Because if those boards aren't
I
good.
don't think anyone does. It's
So I might be over aggressive with this, but I don't want to go to that other side.
let's figure it out.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Tammy?
You're good to go.
thanks, Colton, well done.
Okay, so I just want to let council know that I will be away from the office tomorrow. I will be at a workshop at the County of Renfrew from 9:30 till 3. It'll be a Fred Dean's workshop. The workshop is going to cover topics that affect the day-to-day operations, such as municipal government basics, roles and responsibilities, council and staff relations, decorum, rules of procedure, agenda preparation, report writing, motions and bylaws, recorded votes and voting in general, reconsideration, improving meeting efficiency, consent agenda, closed meetings, committee and local boards, delegations, and beware of the ambush.
Long day.
It is.
Was there lunch?
There is. My next item is Christmas hours. So in previous years, council has approved the closure of the municipal office and public works department during the Christmas holidays. On the days these departments are closed, employees working in the waste management and public works, if needed, typically receive time and a half for pay. Traditionally, council has authorized a full closure for the week between Christmas and New Year's with additional time off on December 24th and December 31st for half days. However, both these dates fall on a Tuesday this year. I'm requesting that council consider approving the closure of the municipal office from Monday, December 23rd through Wednesday, January 1st, and reopening on Thursday, January 2nd. If the human resources policy, which I'm hoping that the members that are not in the committee are able to read and provide questions or comments by the December 5th meeting, if it is past the December 5th or the other meeting in December, in the proposed draft by our policy, there is in there, if it's past, staff would be entitled to 3 paid days off during the holiday break, which I propose to be scheduled for December 27th, the 30th, and 31st, which gives staff consistent days off from the 25th on. For Monday, December 23rd and Tuesday, December 24th, I recommend closing both the municipal office and public works department, but offering staff the flexibility to use bank time, vacation days, personal leave, or off to work at straight time during these closures. So what I'm asking for is that we close for the full week, like I said, in December. So as of
So December 23rd?
December 23rd and the 24th, close that whole week and open up January 2nd. But for the December, if the human resources policy passes, staff would be approved to be paid for 3 of those days, not the 23rd and the 24th. So those days are not included. So my proposal is that we still close and give staff the flexibility to use their bank time, vacation days, personal leave, or opt to work at straight time during these closures.
Can I just repeat? So December 23rd, 24th, and 27th, and then December 30th and 31st?
Yes.
So you're asking for 3 paid, right? And then the other 2 would be taken by sick or in lieu?
Well, personal leave
Personal days.
Opt to work or use vacation days or bank time.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
You want this by December 3rd, time you think
I'd
that
love to read about
Yes,
this.
have it.
Also too, at your desk, I've provided you with information pertaining to the costs in regard to the muscle signage as previously discussed by council. County of Renfrew, a cost per sign is $330 plus HST. 3D graphics for 1 sign is $425 plus HST. And Nature of Design has given one that is full reflective for 1 sign is $565 plus HST, and non-reflective is $425 plus HST. These costs do not include installment, and at this point we're still unsure of where they're going to go. I'm inquiring as how council would like to proceed moving forward, as the cost was not budgeted for and for this year, for 2024. And if council would like to move forward with the purchase this year, I would have to look into where I would have to attribute the cost to, or if council desires, it can be applied to the 2025 budget.
I would recommend for the 2025 budget because there soon will be ice on the lakes. By the time we have the signs up, it'll be winter.
90% of the boats are already out.
Yeah.
Tammy, you don't comment on the quality or material of the Renfrew signs, or they?
They didn't give it to me,
Okay,
so I can ask for that.
yeah.
Do-
I personally should go with that, but if you're not.
Do we need something full reflective? Do we need full reflective?
I think we should go with County Renfrew, the cheaper ones. 4x8 is, you're
I
on
think-
4x8.
Yeah, but we don't know what kind of board it is or anything. That's probably need more information.
Who puts up the signs for the deer and that stuff? Is that the county?
Yes.
Well,
So I
yeah.
assume it'd be similar to
Yeah.
that.
Dan's learning this job, we can't assume.
People
Especially
have
with the
no problem
county.
seeing those.
So if we've stuck by what we've always done in the past is, I know the county's the cheapest, but should we shop local this time?
We're gonna try and save some money. If they're the same deal, if it's the same board, then why would we spend that much more money?
This is composite aluminum.
We have to find out what the county board
Are they
is.
just using plywood or are they using aluminum?
That's right. Can't
We
make
don't need them up for 6 months.
Yeah, so can we ask you to find out that?
And that's it until new business and committee of the whole. Oh, sorry, I've got one more thing, sorry. In the last meeting we were at, I have a resolution prepared for the hiring of Alan Tennant for a casual snowplow driver.
Can we hear that resolution?
Moved by Bill Smith, second by Harold Levine, that Council for the Corporation of the Township of Killaloe, Hagerty and Richards hereby approves the hiring of Mr. Alan Tennant on a seasonal contract basis effective December 2nd, 2024 until April 1st, 2025, weather dependent, and with a guaranteed 25 hours per week.
Questions or discussion? All those in favor? Carried.
And that's all I have.
Okay, moving along. Examining the accounts. Road and General Voucher 10-2024. Any questions?
I just don't know what this is. If you don't mind.
We don't mind.
No, I've never seen it on here before, that's all. 26705, 26705.
CIBC Mortgage Services.
I don't know what that is. I've never seen it on here before. Ever.
There was, they had paid somebody's mortgage for them, and it wasn't the correct account or something like that. We had to pay the money back, so it was like an in and an out.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
It's the only one now. I've never just seen it on there ever before.
I just wanted to know, is 26685, is that the cost of our, is that the hazardous waste day, or what is that?
Nope, that's not it.
Oh, okay, that's not it, okay.
Anybody else? Okay, we're good. Moving on to committee. Does any committee have anything to say? Question for the chairs. Are you okay with standing for the same committees, or would you like to shuffle the deck and have different committees?
Okay.
I'm finding where I am.
Everyone's in a happy place?
No comment.
Okay. A couple things from finance. Tammy had sent out an email in regards to the meeting packages, and that we were to pick them up at the office here. Was everybody okay with that? Because if we were to go that route from now on, that's a savings of roughly $800. So instead of putting it through Canada Post when and if they do come back, from now on we'll pick up our packages here. Is that okay?
I can't.
I thought it was just for the strike.
No, I'm just asking if we can save $800 in postage. It's just a suggestion.
Because they don't work the same hours as me.
We can work on you.
I'm never around here till they're open in the winter.
How about you guys okay picking them up?
I am.
I could.
I wanna say yes, but I'm not always in, is the only thing, and now, like, I'm in Wilno, so.
Is there any possibility, I know that it's only 2024 and all, but is there any
Okay.
possibility
That's,
package.
that's how ours in county are. That's how we do. And
But you just have laptops.
Yeah.
We don't have laptops.
Yeah.
That's the
One guy's
problem.
laptops. You save
That's the
on
whole
postage.
problem here.
well, can we? When's that meeting date?
Those of us who want to, we could bring a laptop, right?
So it's just, I'm just trying to think. Don't.
Just do what we're doing, okay? Save all this.
I'm just trying to save $800.
laptops and-
Just a thought. If the answer is no, that's fine.
I'll pick mine up.
I think
I said that from day one, so.
Okay, let's have a vote. Whoever wants to pick theirs up, can I see a show of hands?
I can pick mine up,
One,
I think, at
two.
a time.
Well, then you have to pick mine up.
Well, I picked Teddy's up too.
Okay, so that's
I'll
3.
deliver it to you.
So we have 3 votes. I'm 4. So from now on, there's no more mail. It's a pickup.
But Teddy has to pay me postage.
I'm sure he'll take care of you. Okay, so it's a pickup from now on.
If the meeting doesn't hurry up, we'll still be here.
For the next meeting?
We'll be able to pick it up for the next meeting.
Okay, just 2 more things in this section. OPP costs. This is an ask. And could we evaluate the impact of including the police costs on our tax, billing in our property taxes? Or can we make it a separate line per household levy? So you know that salmon sheet you get for your tax? Okay? Your police costs are built into your levy. What I'm suggesting, can we pull that out and make a separate line that shows OPP costs? Because right now, we're paying a lot of money for OPP. We all know that.
We'll be paying more and more and more every
Probably.
year.
And I'm saying, why don't we pull that out and show the people what it actually is by putting it on our tax bill? Any thoughts?
It's not going to change anything.
No, it's not going to change anything, but I'm just
But
saying.
it's not going to change anything.
Is it not being shown that?
No, it's not separated. It's built into your
It's not
levy.
separated, but it shows the amount that we pay them, is it not?
Not on the tax bill, not on the tax bill.
Oh, on the tax bill, okay. But we-
Like, I think we have to
How much
start,
more work would that be for staff?
I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
I'm just saying, it's getting to be so much money, we need to start to defend ourselves, because we have no control over that cost.
And we
That's what
never
we're
will.
doing here.
We never will have control over that cost.
Never.
Well then,
But if we show it, then people at least will see it.
I think a simple way of doing that would be to create like a graphic, like, remember I asked you one time the breakdown of like $1 worth of taxes, like who gets what? I think maybe we can advertise that on Facebook and on social media, like,
And through naturally
You know?
spirited.
yeah, through Naturally Spirited, like 20 cents of every one of your tax dollars goes here, 30 cents goes here. That's a good way to show people where a tax dollar goes. Simple, easy, $1 of your taxes. And that would be easy for staff. Like not burden us for staff. That's a suggestion.
Okay, so leave it the same, the way it is? No change? Unless, does anyone have any difference? You want to, or not?
Don't pay them.
Okay, my last item. After our last finance meeting, council decided to forego any further finance meetings. Prior to that, one item that was discussed was the Killaloe area rate. And our CEO told us it would be given to us when we start our budget process. I just want to reinforce the urgency and importance of us receiving this information. The Killaloe area rate is one area that I have been very focused on, and I have done a considerable amount of work and research on my own and in consultation with other individuals. As you are aware, we have to be revenue neutral. This includes our water and sewer accounts. There are no municipalities that include these items in their provisional budget, but we do. There should be a separate statement that shows the revenue and expenses for these 2 items and other related expense items. If these items are not revenue neutral in our provisional budget, then that will lead to other questions. The specific line that council needs to be made aware of is account 1018-2175, special area rate. And every dollar in this account needs to be fully explained and accounted to for council, for their viewing. That's a very important account. So that was my last item on that.
I know my area rate is $986.
Well, because of you, I'm sorry to blame you, but because of Councillor Keel and his comments, it really started making me wonder, because I had no idea the magnitude of that cost. So that's what prompted me to get this going. I just want to reinforce it, that's all.
I'd like to speak on this area rate, okay? We pay for streetlights, snow plowing and we pay for damage. But the rest of the township is an area rated to get their streets plowed, but we do. We're area rated for plowing our sidewalks. And the rest of the township gets theirs plowed, they are an area rated for plowing. It's sandy, it's salty.
That sidewalk.
You got roads, man, and streets. And salt
The
and sand.
special
I'm just
area,
saying.
the special area rate does not cover snowplow driving the streets in the village. It only accounts for the sidewalks. The village of Killaroo does not get charged for the streetlights anymore, because there are streetlights in the other townships.
Very good. Didn't know that.
I believe we've asked staff to bring that information.
I just want,
Break down, and we'll have that during.
I just
during our
wanted to
budget process.
reinforce it. Speaking of snow plowing, and I know Dean's not here, but it would have been a question for him. If he could ask him to think about how our snow plows are going to work around the site of a Felski's.
They'll figure it out, that's why he's there.
That's an operation.
I'm just-
The biggest one is going to be the county. Theirs is going to be.
County's is gonna-
County's going to have a problem too, because that part is, anyways.
None of them are gonna have a problem, the Felskis are gonna have a problem, because their fences gonna keep getting knocked.
Yeah,
That's not our
there's a
problem.
big hole it can go into.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a big hole, actually. Okay, correspondence. Town of Aurora. And there is a resolution.
Moved by Maureen McMillan, second by Bill Smith, that council for the township of Killaroo, Hagerty, and Richards hereby requests the of the provincial land tax and the GST to municipalities for sustainable infrastructure funding. Whereas municipalities face growing infrastructure needs, including roads, bridges, public transit, water systems, and other critical services which are essential to community well-being and economic development. And whereas the current sources of municipal revenue, including property taxes and user fees, are insufficient to meet these increasing demands for infrastructure investment, and whereas the province of Ontario currently collects the land transfer tax on property transactions in municipalities across the province, generating significant revenue that is not directly shared with municipalities, and whereas the federal government collects the goods and services tax on property transactions, a portion of which could be directed to municipalities to address local infrastructure needs. And whereas redistributing a portion of the provincial land tax and GST to municipalities would provide a predictable and sustainable source of funding for local infrastructure projects without creating a new tax burden on residents and home buyers. And whereas this redistributing yes, of a portion of the existing land transfer tax and GST would allow municipalities to better plan and invest in long-term infrastructure initiatives supporting local economic growth and improving the quality of life for residents. Now therefore, be it resolved that Council for the Township of Killaroo, Hagerty, and Richards formally requests the province or the provincial government to consider
Redistributing.
a portion of the land transfer tax collected on the property transactions to municipalities, and be it further resolved that Council for the Township of Killaroo, Hagerty, and Richards calls on the federal government to allocate a percentage of the GST collected on property sales to municipalities, and be it further resolved that this
Redistribution.
of the land transfer tax and GST should be structured to provide predictable and sustainable funding to municipalities, allowing for better long-term planning and investment in infrastructure projects that benefit local communities, thus ensuring that local governments receive a fair share of the revenue to address critical infrastructure needs. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Premier Doug Ford, the Ontario Minister of Finance, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, MP Cheryl Gallant, MPP John Yankubuski, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and all municipalities in Ontario for their endorsement and advocacy.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, next one. Peter Eman, welfare funding.
Moved by Maureen McMillan, second by Harold Levine. Be it resolved that Council for the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty Richards hereby supports the County of Renfrew's resolution regarding child welfare funding as attached. And whereas Council for the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty Richards also formally requests that the Province of Ontario consult with and collaborate with child welfare agencies to develop an updated and equitable child welfare funding formula, and that the newly developed development funding formula be structured to ensure an equitable and proportionate distribution that meets the diverse, unique, individual, and complex needs of the communities and populations served. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be shared with Premier Doug Ford, Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, MPP John Yankubuski, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, Rural Ontario Municipal Association, Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, Eastern Ontario Mayor's Caucus, Ontario Association of Children's Aid Societies, and all municipalities in Ontario.
All those in favor? Carried. Township of Pushling.
Moved by Brian Pekoski, second by Carl Keel. Be it resolved that Council for the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards hereby supports the resolution passed by the Township of Pushlinch on November 7th, 2024 regarding provincial projects and excess soil management practices as attached. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be shared with the Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, Premier Doug Ford, Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, MPP John Yankubuski, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, and all municipalities in Ontario requesting support for the protection of agricultural lands and sustainable development practices in Ontario.
All those in favor? Carried. Next item is from Rachel Clayton. Mrs. Claus is on her way. Have we ever done any sponsorship or anything before? Does anyone want to change that? Nope. Next one is a thank you from Tracy Coolis, Sue Sharon, and Pat Pilgrim for your information. Next one is Municipal of Leamington OPP detachment billing increases.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by Maureen McMillan, that Council for the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards hereby supports the resolution passed by the Municipality of Leamington on November 12th, 2024 as attached regarding the recent Ontario Provincial Police Detachment billing increases that will significantly increase 2025 tax rates. And whereas the current police services within the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards are also provided by the Ontario Provincial Police, hereinafter referred to as OPP, and on October 4th, 2024, the OPP submitted their 2025 annual billing statement, which identifies an approximate increase of $100,401, which is a 20.8% increase from 2024 to 2025, and which translates to an approximate 3.15% tax rate increase, in addition to what Council for the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards will need to consider for its residents. And whereas the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards cannot afford to absorb this unexpected and entirely preventable increase, let alone all costs attributed to the OPP without causing undue financial strain to our taxpayers, and wishes to dispute the 2025 OPP annual billing statement and all billing statements moving forward. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards calls on the Ontario government to immediately implement sustainable funding for small rural municipalities by reabsorbing not only the cost of the current OPP increase, but also the Ontario Provincial Police Force as a total back to the provincial budget with no cost recovery to the municipalities. And further, that a copy of this resolution be circulated to Premier Doug Ford, the Minister of Solicitor General, the Minister of Finance, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, MPP John Yankubuski, and all municipalities in Ontario.
All those in favor? Carried. The next one is for your information. Margaret Dingman, invitation to a community information session on climate action plans and net zero impact. Next one is from the Township of Papineau, Cameron, Ontario Building Code Resolution. Next one is from Municipality of Huron Shores, a resolution for recommendations to update the Municipal Election Act. Next one is from the City of Toronto, opposition to the proposed amendments to Part 13 to the Highway Traffic Act contained in Bill 212. Next one is, for your information, County of Renfrew, the Warming Center, which was just released today. Do we have any bylaws? Do we have any unfinished business? Do we have any new business?
So in your package, you received a road rationalization assessment memorandum from the County of Renfrew for review and discussion. A consultant for the County of Renfrew completed a review of the county's roads and made some recommendations. One of them being the recommendation that Simpson Pit Road be transferred to the municipality, as it was identified in the report that it did not meet the minimum threshold nor warrant special conditions. Many of the identified roadways provide connections from one highway to another highway or another county road. However, this service does not in itself indicate the need for the road to provide upper tier service. The memorandum also provided next steps, and the county has asked for our feedback. So I've given it to council for review, and if council has any comments that they would like me to relay back to the county with regards to this study or assessment memorandum, please let me know.
This document that Tammy and Dean received came right out of the blue. No member of county council knew about this ahead of time. It just plopped on their desk, and
Nobody knew who did it.
this what are they called? This other group?
Well, somebody
Aegis
from the
Group.
county must have hired them to do it.
No,
They
the
didn't do it for free.
the county roads department. And what's the name of the whatever it
County
was?
council didn't know, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
No mayor did.
Staff ordered this, whatever county council know.
And so, having said that, the lines lit up more as equal, I'll say equal, as the OPP costs. This was a bombshell, and this caught everyone totally off guard. That's how I'll lead. So, my opinion right now, hell no. They better not even attempt to try to do this, because we can't maintain that road. And we can't maintain County Road 58 if it comes to that. We are going to fight like a bugger. We do not want this. That's my
My
opinion.
comments, sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
No. My comments, just for anyone who's wondering what's going on. The county hired a consulting firm, and took, so the Good Roads Association, Ontario Good Roads Association, sets out standards for what's a county road, what's an upper tier, and what's a lower tier road. And the county took that, they hired a consultant to go out to other municipalities and cherry pick other things that they wanted to add to that, to come up with their own list. And then they applied that list to the Renfrew County roads, and they want to download this road, Simpson Pit Road, to the township. That's gonna cost our town folk millions of dollars in the future, like millions of dollars to do that. It's
Just the maintenance on
ridiculous.
it alone would be outstanding.
And
More
it's,
traffic on that than there is on the round lake.
I know.
Yeah. I know, that's why they must have put it on the Sunday at midnight.
And the idea that they hired a consultant to develop a new set of rules that are over and above what the province suggests, and then it's self-serving and it's just more than.
It's awful. And I can hardly wait till next Wednesday, because it's going to really hit the fan. So
I
anyways,
suggest, Mr. Mayor, when you have your next meeting at county council, that you bring that up and strongly support our feelings here, because there's no possible way our township, and I'm sure some of those other ones, will not be able to pay that kind of money for those roads, which now are looked after by the county.
Councillor Keel, your opinion.
Well, we pay the county enough, I don't think we, I'd say if we weren't paying for the county, well, and then just download this consulting anyone,
Council, Brian?
I don't like anything the county does, so that's my opinion.
Brian, did you have something else?
One of the question was, I didn't notice, and I read it, some of it, I didn't read it line for line, but I didn't notice anywhere in there that so the amount of money we do pay the county now, if we take over Simpson Spit Road, are they gonna refund us that? I didn't see it in there anywhere.
I think it's in the fine print.
That's a question you can
Yeah.
ask them.
Yeah. Harold, do you have anything?
We couldn't afford to take it over to start with. They'd have to give us $3, $4, $6 million a year, and we'd never be able to maintain it over a lifetime.
Bill, do you have anything else to add to what you said?
Oh, I have lots, but I'm not going to.
Maureen?
It just feels very slimy and very underhanded, and considering, they've also raised their fees in the last year. And I don't know how small municipalities are supposed to handle these burdens that, seem to be falling upon our shoulders, and that one certainly can't visit it.
Last year's tax increase was 5.37
Yeah.
from the
So
county
is
tax.
this decision made by county council then, the final decision, or?
No, it hasn't even hit county council. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying, will this decision
Will it
be made
eventually
by
get to
county council?
Um,
Or is
I know-
staff on county?
I think it will go to committee first. I don't even think the committee has seen this, but I could be wrong, but I'm not
I
sure.
don't understand how that works. I don't know
So
how
it
they
goes-
can hire a consultant without county council knowing.
So staff
Somebody
has
should
this-
be getting fired over this.
Staff has a report, does the report, or a company does the report, gives it to staff. Staff goes to the committee, and then the committee goes to county council. Now, this was probably part into their budget in regards to doing this study. Anyways, but I think everyone's point. We all share the same opinion. So what can we write? What do you want to write about this?
She wants to write what we want for it. Tell them
Maybe we should let Councillor Brown craft.
I can write.
I can talk with Dean and I have talked about this, and we can come up with, some sort of reply back. They're looking for, comments or concerns. And I can show council, maybe the December 5th because I don't think it has to be in until, late December, so either the first or the second meeting, maybe council can review it, and if they're okay with it or have anything to add or to take out, then we can go from there.
Yeah, and that may even be canceled by that time, by the response I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, from other municipalities.
It's not only Simpson Spit Road, we also have a Parrot Road and, Ruby to
Rochard?
Yeah.
Dean needs to clarify with that. He said he's going to, he caught that, and he's going to clarify because in the report, it's under Brudenell and Doc Raglan.
Yeah.
So he wants to confirm before moving forward with that as well. So he's going to hopefully be able to do that tomorrow.
So is this
What
an
they're
official
talking about is
proposal?
from Queen
No.
Street
No.
No,
to
okay.
Ruby
No,
Road.
no, there's nothing official about it, other than
That's
the roads department sent it to the county CAO, who in turn told them to issue to all CAOs and all road crews.
It's all paved there now. It's all
And I believe the county corporations committee has it.
Yeah.
They
it's
must have
under
just
there.
got it too, yeah. Okay, anything else under new business? Okay, now we're going to closed. Thank you. Sorry for the long night.
Thank you for coming.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by Carl Keel, motion to move into committee of the whole. Be it resolved that council move into a closed meeting pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, or financial or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board which disclose could reasonably expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or could reasonably be, interfere significantly with the contractual or negotiations of a person, group, or persons or organization.
All those in favor? Carried.